The extreme hardships superheroes have faced. Behind the mask. Behind every cape and cowl lies a story of profound struggle, loss, and resilience. Superheroes aren't just defined by their extraordinary powers, they're shaped by the extreme hardships they've endured. From traumatic origins to psychological wounds that never fully heal, these iconic characters mirror our own battles with grief, identity, and the weight of responsibility. This journey explores the hidden pain behind the heroism, revealing that true strength comes not from invulnerability, but from the courage to continue despite overwhelming adversity. Chapter 1. Origins of Heroic Hardship. The birth of the superhero genre emerged from a period of unprecedented global turmoil. The 1930s and 1940s witnessed the Great Depression, rising fascism, and the horrors of World War II. In this crucible of human suffering, creators sought to manifest hope through extraordinary beings who could combat injustice and protect the vulnerable. Yet these heroes weren't born from triumph, they were forged in the fires of their creators' own hardships, fears, and desires for a better world. The Jewish roots of superhero creation. Superman, the first true superhero, was created by two Jewish teenagers, in 1938, at the height of anti-Semitic persecution in Europe. This wasn't coincidental. Many of the most iconic superheroes emerged from Jewish creators who channeled their experiences of discrimination, displacement, and the Holocaust's shadow into stories of hidden identities and the fight for justice. These heroes embodied a powerful fantasy, individuals who appeared ordinary but possessed extraordinary power to right wrongs in a world that felt increasingly unjust. Superman's dual identity as mild-mannered Superman and powerful alien savior reflected the immigrant experience, hiding one's true self to assimilate while harboring inner strength and difference. The metaphor ran deeper. Like Jewish people forced to conceal their identity in hostile environments, many superheroes wore masks and maintained secret identities. Their origins often involved displacement from their homeland, echoing the Jewish diaspora experience. Through these characters, creators processed trauma and marginalization, transforming powerlessness into empowerment. Historical context. By 1940, Jewish creators had established approximately 80% of comic book companies, using the medium as both livelihood and artistic expression during a time of limited opportunities. Born from pain, forged in hope. Superman's first appearance in Action Comics #1 arrived as Europe descended into darkness. Originally priced at just about 12 cents, this groundbreaking issue debuted as a beacon of hope, its pages now fetching millions due to its profound cultural impact. His creation represented more than entertainment, it was an act of defiance, a declaration that goodness could triumph over evil, that the vulnerable could become invincible, and that justice would prevail. This single image not only introduced the world to Superman, igniting the golden age of comic books and launching the entire superhero genre, but also built an entire mythology on the foundation of turning suffering into strength. Chapter 2. The human flaws behind the powers. Extraordinary abilities come with extraordinary burdens. Every superhero, regardless of their powers, carries vulnerabilities that humanize them and make their struggles relatable. These weaknesses aren't merely plot devices, they represent the fundamental truth that no one, no matter how powerful, is truly invincible. The greatest heroes aren't those without flaws, but those who persevere despite them. Superheroes' secret weaknesses. Physical vulnerabilities. These vulnerabilities create tension and stakes, reminding us that power alone doesn't guarantee victory. Emotional dependency. These heroes teach us that our greatest weaknesses often lie in our minds. Identity conflicts. The dual identity struggle creates constant tension. Batman must maintain his playboy facade while Batman operates in darkness. Spider-Man balances teenage life with superhero responsibilities. These conflicts mirror our own struggles between who we are and who we must appear to be. These weaknesses serve a crucial narrative purpose, they connect invincible heroes to vulnerable audiences. When Superman fears or Batman struggles with his humanity, readers see reflections of their own limitations, fears, and the courage required to face them anyway. The emotional toll. Doubt, isolation, and loss. Batman. Grief is fuel. Batman witnessed his parents' murder as a child, a trauma that never heals. Instead of moving forward, he channels this grief into an obsessive mission. His isolation is self-imposed, he pushes away love and connection, believing that emotional attachments create vulnerabilities. His greatest enemy isn't Joker or Ra's al Ghul, it's the darkness within himself. Spider-Man. The weight of responsibility. Spider-Man's failure to stop a criminal who later murdered his uncle created a burden he carries forever. His iconic mantra, "With great power comes great responsibility," is born from guilt. He sacrifices personal happiness, relationships, and normalcy because he believes every tragedy he doesn't prevent is his fault. The Hulk. Rage and rejection. The Hulk's transformation into the Hulk represents the ultimate loss of control. Society fears and rejects him, forcing him into isolation. His struggle embodies the pain of being misunderstood, of having an aspect of yourself that society cannot accept, and the lonely burden of managing inner demons while the world watches in fear. These emotional struggles resonate because they're intensified versions of universal human experiences. Every hero's isolation reflects our own feelings of being misunderstood. Their doubt mirrors our insecurities. Their losses echo our grief. In their pain, we find validation for our own. Chapter 3. Grief and Trauma in the Hero's Journey. Loss defines the superhero more than any origin story. Whether it's parents, mentors, loved ones, or entire worlds, heroes are forged in the crucible of grief. This isn't merely backstory, it's the foundation of their identity, the driving force behind their actions, and often the source of their greatest vulnerabilities. Understanding how heroes process grief offers profound insights into human resilience and the long shadow trauma casts over even the strongest among us. Superhero grief, a psychological perspective. The many faces of hero grief. Psychologists identify several types of grief that profoundly affect superhero narratives, each representing different aspects of human mourning. Anticipatory grief. Heroes like Doctor Strange experience grief before loss occurs, knowing the futures they've seen and the sacrifices that must come. Ambiguous grief. When heroes lose someone whose fate remains uncertain, like Captain America frozen in time, they grieve without closure. Disenfranchised grief. Superman grieves for Krypton, a world no one else remembers. His loss goes unrecognized by those around him, making it lonely and isolating. Disenfranchised grief is where people don't really know what you're going through, in grieving for something that people don't understand or value immensely. Chronic grief. Iron Man's PTSD after the Battle of New York represents ongoing, unresolved grief that manifests as anxiety, insomnia, and compulsive armor building. Wonder Woman's delayed grief over centuries of war and loss demonstrates how trauma can remain dormant, surfacing when defenses finally lower. Her immortality means she grieves repeatedly, watching every mortal friend and ally age and die while she continues unchanged. These psychological frameworks help us understand that superhero stories aren't escapist fantasies, they're sophisticated explorations of how humans process trauma, find meaning in loss, and continue functioning despite overwhelming pain. Grief is the shadow behind the mask. In every darkened alley of Gotham, in every vigilant night Batman spends patrolling instead of healing, we see the truth: some wounds never fully close. Batman doesn't fight crime to honor his parents, he fights because he's still that traumatized child, trying to prevent anyone else from experiencing his pain. The mask hides his identity, but it also shields him from confronting his own humanity and the grief he's never truly processed. Chapter 4. Support systems and overcoming adversity. Even the mightiest heroes cannot stand alone. Behind every iconic superhero lies a network of allies, mentors, and loved ones who provide emotional grounding, practical support, and the human connection that prevents isolation from consuming them. These relationships aren't weaknesses, they're the secret weapons that allow heroes to face impossible odds without losing themselves in the process. These alliances serve as a vital moral compass, grounding heroes in humanity and preventing them from succumbing to the darker impulses that unchecked power can foster. When operating in complete solitude, the immense pressure and lack of accountability can lead to moral compromises, cynicism, or even a descent into authoritarianism. Crucially, having trusted individuals who know their true identity offers a critical outlet for vulnerability and shared burden, essential for psychological well-being and maintaining a sense of self beyond the heroic persona. The power of allies and mentors. Batman's anchor, his butler. More than a butler, serves as father figure, confidant, and moral compass. He grounds Batman's obsession with gentle wisdom, reminding him of his humanity when vengeance threatens to consume him. Batman's butler's unwavering presence proves that even the Dark Knight needs someone to come home to. Superman's humanity. This female keeps Superman connected to Earth and humanity. Her fearless pursuit of truth mirrors his own values, while her vulnerability reminds him why he fights. She sees both the alien god and the Kansas farm boy, accepting all of him without reservation. Iron Man's reality check. Happy represents Iron Man's pre-superhero life and genuine friendship without agenda. He provides stability and normalcy in Tony's chaotic world, proving that sometimes the greatest support comes from those who knew you before the armor. Beyond individual support, superhero teams like the Avengers, Justice League, and X-Men demonstrate that collective strength amplifies individual resilience. These groups provide, note, shared burden, distributing impossible responsibilities across many shoulders. Note, diverse perspectives, preventing isolation-driven tunnel vision. Note, accountability, keeping heroes from crossing ethical lines. Note, belonging, creating family for those who've lost everything. These support systems mirror real-world psychology. Research consistently shows that social connection is the single greatest predictor of resilience in the face of trauma. Heroes teach us that asking for help isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Lessons from superheroes: resilience and growth. Growth through adversity. Every defeat teaches heroes something vital. Captain America's first movie features him as a scrawny kid repeatedly getting beaten up, but never staying down. That resilience, learned before the super soldier serum, defines his character far more than his enhanced abilities. Embracing vulnerability. Heroes who acknowledge their limits grow stronger. Iron Man's admission that he has PTSD, Thor's acceptance that worthiness isn't about power, and Superman learning he can't save everyone. These moments of vulnerability create genuine growth. Seeking connection. The strongest heroes actively build support networks. They understand that isolation breeds darkness. Whether it's joining a team, maintaining civilian friendships, or seeking mentorship, connection amplifies strength rather than diminishing it. The true measure of heroism. Heroes aren't defined by the powers they possess or the battles they win. They're defined by how they respond to hardship, how they rise after falling, and how they help others despite their own pain. Their stories inspire us not because they're invincible, but because they're not, and they keep fighting anyway. We face our own kryptonite daily: loss, failure, fear. Superheroes remind us that having weaknesses doesn't disqualify us from being heroic. What matters is the choice to continue, to seek help when needed, to transform pain into purpose, and to believe that tomorrow can be better than today. Strength through struggle. This image represents more than teamwork. It symbolizes the fundamental truth that our greatest strength emerges not despite our hardships, but because of them. Each hero carries scars, losses, and traumas that could have broken them. Instead, they chose to let those experiences forge them into something stronger, equipping them with unique insights and abilities that contribute to the collective. Their diverse backgrounds and personal battles, ranging from scientific brilliance to mystical arts, create a rich tapestry of complementary skills essential when facing insurmountable odds. Moreover, witnessing their companions overcome similar struggles provides a profound sense of hope and validation, reinforcing their belief in collective resilience. Together, they demonstrate that vulnerability shared becomes courage multiplied. Conclusion. The true heroism of hardship. Superheroes captivate us not because they're superhuman, but because they're profoundly, beautifully human in their struggles. Their extraordinary powers serve as metaphors for the potential we all carry within, the capacity to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles, to find meaning in suffering, and to transform pain into purpose. These stories teach us that vulnerability is not weakness. When Superman grieves for Krypton, when Batman wrestles with his demons, when Spider-Man struggles under the weight of responsibility, they model emotional honesty. They show us that acknowledging pain, seeking support, and embracing our flaws are not signs of failure but acts of courage. The extreme hardships superheroes face, trauma, loss, isolation, doubt, mirror our own battles on a mythic scale. Their resilience reminds us that healing isn't about erasing scars but learning to carry them with grace. Their support systems demonstrate that no one truly stands alone unless they choose to. We are all heroes in training. Every day we face our own villains: fear, grief, uncertainty, pain. Like our favorite heroes, we don't need to be invincible. We need to be resilient. We need to ask for help. We need to believe that our struggles have meaning and that our scars tell stories of survival, not defeat. The cape and cowl are symbols, but the real heroism lies underneath, in the human heart that chooses hope over despair, connection over isolation, and courage over comfort. Like the superheroes who inspire us, we can find strength in our darkest moments, knowing that hardship doesn't diminish our worth. It reveals our true power, the unbreakable human spirit that rises, again and again, no matter how many times it falls.